Purple berries. Hello, beautiful people. Hope you enjoyed the pictures that I put at the beginning. I wanted to mention something that I saw, and it's just hearsay. Yes, it is. Someone said a friend of theirs, so I don't even know this person that said this, okay? Said a friend of theirs went to a Walmart corporate meeting. And in the meeting, they said, they were told that within the next 3 to 4 weeks, prices are going to go up by 50%. 50% from where they are now. So, I don't know if it's true, but it's worth mentioning, and it's worth continuing to prep, to gather your food supplies. You know, your gardens are important. I finished planting my garden. I think we're going to have a couple of days that are going to be close to freezing. I hope they don't go below that. Our last frost date is generally about the 3rd week of April. But we're going to get a lot of rains. And a lot of times, if you are expecting a frost, a late unexpected frost, or you think it might get close, water your garden really well and your fruit trees really, really well. Let them have a really good saturating drink of water before that hits, and you are less likely to lose them. Just a hint. May not be guaranteed, but, you know. So, my garden is in, and I've had some rabbit problems. Not just the rabbit I found, which she has a new home, and it is a she. The lady showed me how to sex her right there sitting on my step. I thought it was a male because she did, and everybody says she doesn't have it doesn't have a dewlap, you know, the little double chin. And usually that's a sign of a female. And so I said they were 99% sure that it was a male because of that. Well, she showed me how to sex this bunny, and it's a girl. So that means she could be bred by the wild rabbits. On the game camera, 2 days before we found this bunny in my yard, she was on game camera for 2 nights out in my pasture where the fox is always hanging out. So, I'm glad I was able to find, it is a petting farm and a trail ride place, horse for trail rides. It's just a sort of a little farm out there in the next town, which is close by. My little town is a tiny little town, and it's got a slightly bigger town next to it, and that's where the farm is. So anyway, the bunny's going to have a home with someone who knows how to take care of her, and I don't have to worry about her actually becoming 10 bunnies suddenly one day. But anyway, I just wasn't ready for rabbits. I just really, you know, I've said on my 30 things you don't know about me or whatever, I mentioned I don't care for rabbits. I like seeing them in the wild, and I rescue them from my cat, the bunnies from my cat, but, you know, just for keeping rabbits, I just don't really care for it. But anyway, but this thing about the price is rising, you know, and then I'm thinking, you can't hear you don't hear anything about things that really matter on the news anymore. All you hear is COVID, 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 vax, vax, vax. That's all you ever hear. That's all they ever talk about. They are almost completely ignoring the possible start of World War III right now. There are, you know, the China, Taiwan, and then you got the Ukraine and Russia, and all this stuff is becoming very, very hot right now. And it could spill over here. Our president is the last person to be able to deal with foreign leaders. And definitely the VP, who tends to be faking, they send body doubles out to meet and greet people looking like her. Of course, behind the face covering. So, if it dresses like her and the hair is like her, people don't readily see that. People are not really good with detail. I don't know why that is, but I found that they really are not. In raising chickens, I find people are not really good with detail. But all this stuff, the prices are going to go through the roof. If we end up in a war, high prices are going to be kind of moot because there will be nothing to buy. Steel is a problem. Everything's a problem. Car parts are a problem. You can't even get car parts. You can't get brake pads for certain vehicles because so much is made in China. There's all kinds of stuff going on that's much more important than some flu-like virus that has a 99.7% survival rate and has been used for nothing more than to remove your freedoms. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I just, I never thought in my 64 years I'd ever see such a thing as this. And people say, well, there's the accusation, fear-mongering, you're fear-mongering. No. Truth-telling is not fear-mongering. Let's don't be changing the meaning of words here. Not like the Biden administration tends to do when they call infrastructure childcare. That is not infrastructure. Infrastructure is bridges and roads. Infrastructure is not childcare and paid leave. That's not infrastructure. They want to change the meanings of words. Fear-mongering is what the media has been doing to us for the last year and a half. That's 4 years, really. That's what they've been doing to us. Truth-telling is not fear-mongering. Truth-telling is warning you to be ready. Now, fear-mongering is trying to get you to panic. I don't try to get you to panic. I try to get you to be prepared and be ready and not be taken by surprise. Fear-mongering is them trying to get you to be afraid so that you panic and you do what you're told and you obey stupid crap. That's what fear-mongering is. I don't do that. The media does that daily. It's amazing the news stories that they totally ignore. Some virus is not going to cause the loss of life that a world war would. It's just not. The draft will be instituted. We'll have the draft again. So let's just quit throwing that fear-mongering accusation around. Truth-telling and giving you a heads up is not fear-mongering. I don't know if the prices are going to go up by 50%, but I tell you one thing, you better do your survival insurance. Insurance against what might happen is you buy car insurance because of what might happen. You buy homeowners insurance against what might happen. Good thing I had homeowners insurance when my house caught on fire. They paid it. Boy, they were hard to deal with, let me tell you. And I didn't make money on this, on my house fire like my sister-in-law did. But she had 2 house fires. Can you believe that? She had 2 houses burned down. It's crazy. But I didn't make money on it. My insurance company was hard to deal with. However, I had insurance. It paid for my house renovation, and it repurchased the things that were lost that I had to lose. They were ridiculous to deal with. I still have them. I wish I didn't, but that's what survival insurance is. That's what putting aside food is. Buy it now at today's prices. So if whatever you pay $1 for now, you don't have to pay $2 for. $1.50, $2. That's what survival insurance is. You have it and you've bought it at a lower price. Buy low, sell high has always been good financial advice, right? Well, this is survival advice. Buy it at today's prices, which are already higher than yesterday's prices. But if it's going up by 50% over what it's already gone up, I sent my husband out this morning. And it seems odd to say buy more of things we already have a lot of, but we have to think long term. What if we are in a world war and we have to, 6 months of food is nothing. How about a year and a half? How about a year and a half's worth of food? We've got water storage. I finally got the second big 250-gallon water tank moved and put in the back. It's set up on 2 pallets so that it's raised up off the ground. It's covered with a tarp, and I need to just put the screening over the thing and strap it down so that it can collect rainwater. I can put a little bit of bleach in there if I want to. That big tank sits behind the little coop where the bantams are living at the moment. And that will, it's in a position where it can be used to run a hose to water the livestock. It can be used to water the garden. Say if we have a drought, say we have, and our electricity goes out, and we need emergency water. We have one of those already set up behind the house, already filled with treated water for us. We have 2 55-gallon drums of treated water. We have probably 100 2-liter bottles of water that we finished. We only drink Diet Right. I can't drink more than one because of it does bad things to me, my acid reflux. I don't have any acid reflux unless I drink like two or three of the glasses of cola, and then of course I do, but I don't take anything daily for that because I would rather just avoid what causes it. And what causes it is more than 1 glass of that a day. So we drink the Diet Right, the 2 liters, and when we can find them. Sometimes they're hard to find. And then we rinse it out and we fill it up with water and we put it aside. So we've got a whole lot of those, plus even the little singles, the 16-ounce bottles. So we've got water in a lot of forms around here because our well pump is electric, of course. We do have a generator. We do have a pretty good generator, but you know, it runs on either propane or gasoline. There's only so much propane and gasoline I can store. So if something happened, and of course the prices on gas, they're already $3 a gallon here in my town, and are right at it. So you know, the price of it is going to be high, and I don't want to run a whole system with my generator. I may turn it on just to get the well pump going for a few hours a day or something. But if I couldn't at all, I've got some water storage. Maybe not the best. They say that, you know, the plastics break down over time with those things, with the water bottles. Okay, so they do, but at least I've got it. But prepare, people. This is, if you have not heard and seen what's going on with Ukraine and Russia, try to get some alternative news sources. I feel so, it frustrates me when I see people who don't listen to anything except ABC News. They are the worst news channel for actually finding out any truth. They are absolute worst. I listen to them because of the weather for my area. But they're terrible, absolutely terrible. It's nothing but a propaganda machine. So it's amazing how many people are really completely ill-informed about what's actually going on. Smoke and mirrors. They don't want you to know what's going on. They want you to be afraid. They want you to be panicked so they can tell you what to do, and you'll do it without much question, without much pushback, that you'll do it. So, I don't know what in the world is going to happen. I don't think any of us really do. We don't know how bad it's going to get. It's already bad. I mean, this new president has only been in office for a few months, and here we go. Open the borders and let all the, not just illegals, but we don't know what kind of people these people are. We've got a lot of cartel members. We've got human child traffickers coming over the border. We've got people who are, I mean, if you want to talk about the disease, they're not even being tested. They're being flooded into Texas. They're just allowed in. Okay, so a new criminal element is coming over. Meanwhile, this administration is trying to disarm the citizens so they can't protect themselves. You couldn't have a better recipe for destroying a country than what this administration has. They're kudos to them. If you're trying to destroy the country and wipe it off the face of the earth, you're doing a really good job. Really good job. No world leader respects these two people. None of them do. None of them. They're happy. Now, some of them are really happy they're there. China is thrilled that they're, because they can run over this man. This man has no brain left. My mother had Alzheimer's disease. I recognize the symptoms. He doesn't know where he is half the time. All they're doing is putting things in front of him and he signs it. Or somebody else signs it for him. He doesn't even know what he's signing. I can almost guarantee you he doesn't know what he's signing. He doesn't know what's going on. My mother had Alzheimer's for the last couple of years of her life. It was a sad thing. She would look out the window and she would see these people on these old-fashioned Western buckboards. Now, my mother was born in 1918, my adoptive mother, 1918. So she would see these people on buckboards in her backyard. And she said, "Don't you see those people?" I said, "I mean, what do you say? You can't really go along with it." And, you know, do you go along or do you say, "No, I don't see them, Mom"? And then other times she'd be talking about me like I wasn't there, to me. And my sister would go, "Well, that is Cynthia." She goes, "That's Cynthia? No." So, see, she didn't know where she was half the time. And neither does the President of the United States. That is, and, you know, this is whose hands we're in, is whoever's controlling, whoever's puppeteering this man with dementia. And it's very frightening, and it also makes me angry that somebody would, even though I don't like the man, and I think he's a useless wuss. He's been useless for 47 years already, so why would he suddenly be useful as a president? Somebody else is pulling the strings, but beyond that, it made me angry to watch his wife parade him around like some show pony. And when they'd ask him a question, he'd go look off into space, and she'd sit there smiling like nothing was happening. I'm thinking, you have a lot to answer for, you evil witch. You have a lot to answer for, Jill Biden. Jill let them eat cake, Marie Antoinette Biden. That was unconscionable. Unconscionable. Parading him around like, and using him. Sick. That to me is sick. I don't care how awful that man is. He has lost his mind, and she is actually using that to be where she is. That's just, it just sickens me. But I'm off on a tangent. I just want you to understand that things are happening that are bigger than what's going on with the Wuhan wiggle and the roll up your sleever. That's all they want to talk about. If you notice how much they talk about, that is pretty much all they talk about. They might have a quick mention of something else here and there. And if, of course, if it has to do with racism, they will talk about that. They'll just throw up something to make a problem to talk about. If you think that is the main problem in our country, you're not paying attention. That is not our problem. That's not been our problem for a long time. You may want to make it a problem so you can play a victim, but that's not been our problem for a very long time. We've got a lot of real problems here, and it's frightening. It's just frightening what's going on. So please be prepared. Just think, pose a question to yourself. What if I can't leave my house for almost a year? What if I can't even leave my driveway? What if I have to be on alert every night and guard my house and my property from looters and rioters? Oh, here they come. Here comes the trials ending. Doesn't matter what, guilty or not guilty, the riots are going to amp up. They already are. Never mind. So the destroyers are out in force. They're going to continue because that's all they know how to do is destroy. That's what they want to do. They want any excuse to do it. They don't want the justice system to do its thing. They want to take matters in their own hands. So, y'all, please stock up more. I mean, things that you don't think you can do without for a year. Excuse me. There's pollen in the air now. This is not. It's just pollen is drying my throat out. There's a lot of anything you don't think you can live without, get enough of it for a year. If you can't live without coffee, make sure you got enough coffee and creamer for a year. If you like cream that you refrigerate, get a bunch of powdered creamer too. Get flavored creamers if you like that sort of thing for interest. And get Instant coffee, also, it's not the best, but you know what? All it takes is hot water. You don't take a machine to be plugged in, it just takes hot water. You can do that on a campfire or on your stove if you have a gas stove. Thank goodness I have a gas stove. So think about this being really long term, and prices may go up, so stock up now, but what if prices are not the thing? What if lack of things is the problem? My husband's already said the shelves at our local Walmart are so empty. He has a hard time sometimes finding things. So that's enough rambling. I just want you to know about what they said about the prices going up by 50% in the next 3 to 4 weeks. I don't know if that's true. I can imagine it happening. So this is not fear-mongering. This is telling you, don't panic, prepare. Panic does you no good. Preparing does you good. The media wants you to panic about everything because when people are panicked, they're not thinking. Keep your wits about you, people. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. It's a nice sunny day. I think we're about to have some rain, but it feels wonderful outside, and I got to go let Hector out. So we'll talk to y'all later. Bye, everybody.